Are you frustrated with the fact that you are not getting noticed online? I feel you. In the social media world where we have billions of people fighting to be seen and heard, it is tough to stand out. But there is a way. Join me in this edition of Thursday's Thought, where I share the 5 reasons why you're not getting noticed online, as well as 5 tips to guarantee getting noticed online. And trust me, if you follow the tips given in this episode, you will notice a boost in your visibility. Today's episode is sponsored by my advanced digital training, Unleashed and Unapologetic, How to Become a Thought Leader and Create a Cult Following. Sign up for the training at rubyfremon.com/unleashed. Now, whether you're new to this podcast or a loyal thought leader, please make sure you take a moment to drop a rating and review on iTunes. I will love you forever if you do so. Whew, now it is time to help you get noticed online. Okay, thought leaders, I'm here, and let me tell you, I recorded this whole episode without the fucking mic on, and so I'm re-recording it now. Shit happens. Nonetheless, I'm very excited for this edition of Thursday's Thought because it is a sneak peek into the content that I'll be sharing at Amplified Soul Live, which takes place February 22nd to the 24th in Los Angeles. I absolutely love this event. It's the 3rd time I'm doing it. It's also the last time I'm doing it. So if you're in or around the LA area, you feel like coming to LA and spending 3 days with me, be there. The link will be in the show notes. But this piece of content that I wanted to share, that I felt called to share, is really because I know that a lot of you are dealing with this problem. I know that a lot of you are having trouble getting noticed online. I know this because the majority of my clients come to me for this reason. They don't feel like they're visible online. You know, maybe you've experienced writing a post, like you carefully craft it, you write it from your heart and soul, you put everything into it, you press enter, it posts, and then like a couple hours later, when you check in on it, there's nothing. Maybe there's 1 like, crickets. And then you kept pressing refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh, and still crickets. And maybe you're someone who experiences this regularly. Maybe you feel like you're invisible online. Trust me, this is a common problem. And I see it all the time, like with my clients, with the people who are enrolled in my Unleashed and Unapologetic program. Like, this is a very, very common thread that many online entrepreneurs, influencers, leaders face. And let's be real, like the online space is super crowded. It's super fucking crowded. Like, there are billions and billions of people on this planet. And I don't even know the number of our world's population that's using social media. I probably should have done that research before this episode, but there's a lot of fucking people on social media, and a lot of people sharing their messages and sharing their content and sharing their shit. I mean, our feeds are filled with it. So obviously it's going to be a little tough to get noticed, you know, when there's billions of people online. So I want to help you with this. My goal is for this episode is to provide you with some real tangible tips that if you were to put these things into play right away, you will start getting noticed. And again, this is a sneak peek into the content for Amplified Soul Live. So you, my beloved thought leaders, are getting this information first. So just remember that. And remember that, and drop me a review while you're at it, because you love me so much. Okay, so let's dive right in. So let's start with the reasons why you're not getting noticed online. Okay? Reason number 1, your message isn't concise. Okay, your message isn't concise. It's fucking fluffy. It's ambiguous. It's not clear. There's no real depth or real meat to it. There's nothing for people to sink their teeth into. It's just not concise. Reason number 2 that you're not getting noticed online is you're not being direct. And this used to be me, believe it or not. Yes, I used to be that person who was never fucking direct online. And really this comes from a place of people pleasing, which a lot of you suffer from, including myself. I do too. And when you have that need to please people, it's really easy to not be direct. So when you're not being direct, you're speaking to everyone. You're trying to speak to everyone. You're trying to please everyone, and so that makes your content and your message super general. You're generalizing everything. Reason number 3 that you're not getting noticed online: your tone isn't authentic. Your tone isn't you. You're showing up with this energy and this tone about you that's like not you at all, and instead it's how you think you're expected to show up or how you want to be perceived versus who you really are. So your tone is unauthentic. Reason number 4 that you're not getting noticed online: you're not consistent. You're not consistent. And I used to be one of those people very early on in my entrepreneurial days where I was like, oh, like I also want to have a life, and posting every day takes away from that. And things started shifting, and not because I became like a workaholic, but because I got my fucking shit together and my values straight. And my purpose means a lot to me, and consistency matters, especially today, because algorithms are a thing. If you feel like, if you're questioning the algorithm and asking yourself why you're not showing up in people's feeds, it's because you're not being consistent. I even had my Facebook rep tell me, we were talking about my video posting schedule, and she said, well, if you're going to be posting 2 videos a day, just make 2 videos a week, just make sure it's the same day every week. Like, post those 2 videos on the same 2 days every single week, because that's how you're going to boost your algorithm. So that was straight out of Facebook's mouth. And Instagram has an algorithm. I mean, if you are going to disappear from social media for a while and you come back and then you're wondering why you're not getting noticed, that's why. You have to be consistent. Number 5, the 5th and final reason why you're not getting noticed online is that you're not providing value. And I see this all the fucking time. I mean, have you ever signed up for a webinar? I feel like every online entrepreneur has experienced this. Have you ever signed up for a webinar where you get on the webinar and the first fucking 20, 25, 30 minutes of the webinar is this person talking about them? And then maybe for 5 minutes, they give you a little piece of content. And then the following 20 minutes is a fucking pitch. Like, there is no value in that for me. Versus when you sign up for a webinar and the person maybe does like a 10-minute intro, and then they provide like 30 minutes of content, and then they do a pitch at the end, which is like 10 minutes. Like, there's some fucking value. The other thing to keep in mind with value is a lot of the times when you're not providing value, what you're really doing is you're making it about you and not about them. So take a look through your feed and see if your posts are actually about them, and them meaning your audience, or if they're really just about you. So recap of the 5 reasons you're not getting noticed online. Reason number 1, your message isn't concise. It is fucking fluffy and ambiguous and generic. Reason number 2 is you're not being direct. You're generalizing. You're trying to please everyone. Reason number 3, your tone isn't authentic. It's not you. It's a fabricated tone. It's people pleasing and pretending to be who you think you need to be. Reason number 4 is you're not consistent. So you have an erratic posting behavior. And remember, like, attention spans are short nowadays. So if you disappear off social media, people are going to move on to the next best thing. And then finally, reason number 5, you're not providing value. You're making this about you. You're not making it about them. Now we're going to flip everything around, because I want to provide you with the actual tips to get noticed online. And if you, thought leaders, if you follow these tips, okay, if you actually follow these tips and do them consistently, I can guarantee that you will start getting noticed online. Okay. So These are obviously going to be the opposite of the reasons you're not getting noticed online, but bear with me because this shit is good. So the 5 tips for getting noticed online. Okay. Tip number 1, sorry, getting my words mixed up. Tip number 1 to get noticed online. Make your message clear. Make your message super fucking clear. Provide a straightforward, to the point, easy to understand, easy to digest, super clear message. So all of your messaging, make it clear. All of your content, all your posts, just make it super fucking clear. Tip number 2 to get noticed online is be direct. Okay. This tip actually helped me so much when I was showing up, and you can see this, like, just go really far back into even my YouTube videos or my Facebook videos on my page, and you'll see like the difference in directness and not being direct. But be direct, like speak directly to your audience, or better yet, speak to a specific person in your audience. So, you know, that ideal client avatar or the ideal customer avatar, like speak directly to that person. Speak directly to their pain points. Speak directly to their dreams. Speak directly to them. Be direct. Tip number 3 to get noticed is be real. Be fucking real. Being real creates relatability, and relatability creates a sense of connection. And what your audience wants more than anything is to feel connected to you. I have had people sign up for my digital training, not complete the digital training, but they signed up to be part of it because they get access to monthly coaching calls with me. They want the connection. Like, people want to feel connected with you. And the only way that they can feel connected to you is if you create that relatability through being real. So be real. If you want to dive into what that's like, pretend like no one's watching. Like, record a video as if no one's going to see it, and just be the realest version of yourself. And then later on, post that video. Like, trick yourself into being real. But this is, you know, being real. I can assure you this comes easier with time. So just practice being real, because real creates relatability. Tip number 4 to get noticed is be consistent. Post daily, even if it's just one post a day, like post daily. If you do IG stories for one day and you do like 12 stories in that day, and then you don't post stories for 2 more days, and then you post maybe 5 stories the next day, like, people aren't going to be really into your stories. They're not going to want to keep watching them. Versus, like, there are people on social media that I know that I follow, who I look forward to seeing their stories every day, and I know that they're going to show up in their stories every day. So your audience wants to know what to expect from you. So be consistent, post daily, be consistent with your messaging, with your content. So, you know, if you post, so for me, like, I post a lot about entrepreneurship, leadership, personal development, thought leadership. If I interrupted my feed with something about like sports, like, that's fucking totally off topic. It's not consistent. It's not consistent, and it's not me. So you want to be consistent with your messaging and with your content so that your audience knows what to expect. Now, tip number 5 to get noticed: provide value. You know, Gary Vee's Jab, Jab, Hook. If you haven't read that book, read it. You want to give them value. This isn't about always hooking them into something that you offer, which really makes it about you. This is about providing value and making it about them, about making it about your audience. Make your messaging content rich. Provide real value that's going to help your audience, and they will always come back for more. I can guarantee it. I mean, maybe you even have those accounts on social media that you always go back to, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, but you always go back and check their content because they always provide really fucking valuable content that supports you in what you need. That's what you want to serve up to your audience, because that's what's going to keep them wanting more. And then when you have an offer, it's easier for them to want to say yes to it because you've already provided so much value for free. Oh my God, what more can she offer in this program if I pay for it? Holy shit. So provide value. I'm going to recap the tips to get noticed. Tip number 1, make your message clear, provide straight to the point, easy to understand, concise messaging. Tip number 2 to get noticed, be direct. Speak to your audience, speak to a specific person in your audience. Tip number 3, be real, because real creates relatability. Tip number 4, be consistent. Post daily. Be consistent with your messaging and your content so your audience knows what to expect. And tip number 5, provide value. Make it about them. Make it content rich. And I guarantee your audience will continue coming back for more. So these are my tips for getting noticed online. I also identified things that you're probably doing that are preventing you from getting noticed online. So if you're listening to this on your drive, listen to it again at home with a pen and paper and just take notes, and then review, like take an audit of your social media accounts. This is so important. A lot of people skip this work. It's like they try and just integrate what they learn and they don't actually do the work of reviewing what you've been doing. So like audit your social media accounts. Look at maybe the past month's worth of content on social media, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or something else. And ask yourself if this aligns with these tips, or like if see if your message, it hasn't been concise. Maybe your message, you haven't been showing up in a direct way or in a real way. But really evaluate your content so that you know exactly what it is that you need to change. Now, if you want to dive deeper into this, I will be diving deeper into this, much, much deeper, and also coaching people on the spot around this at Amplified Soul Live, which again takes place February 22nd to the 24th in Los Angeles, coming up very, very soon. Grab your tickets. Link is in the show notes. And even if you're not attending the event, I'd love to hear from you. So apply these tips. Let me know how it goes. Reach out to me on social media. I'm super active on socials. I love Instagram. I love Twitter. I love Facebook. Just hit me up on any of those platforms. My handle is @IamRuby. I truly hope you enjoyed this edition of Thursday's Thought on today's Thought Leader, where I'm challenging you to rise up, speak up, and create a movement. Now, of course, I'm going to plug in my training that I mentioned here. So if you're interested in learning more about my training, where you also get access to monthly training and coaching calls with me, go to rubyfremon.com/unleashed. And again, that link will be in the bio. Be sure to drop a rating and review on iTunes, and check back Monday for a brand new episode of today's Thought Leader. Thank you, and I will chat with you soon.